We now move to our next section, Pioneering Data Spaces Projects, where we will hear concrete examples of innovation powered by GaiaX initiatives. So please welcome our moderator, Hubert Tardieu, independent board member of GaiaX, who will lead the discussion. Hubert, the floor is yours.
So I'm calling on stage Martine Gourrier and Jérémy Mambrini. So since this morning, you have heard that we enter season 2 for data space, and you just have seen the challenges which we have met in the season 1, which is the fact that data spaces which were created were not economically viable when the funding has been finished. So I am very happy and proud that you will see this morning 2 projects which have been launched with exactly the kind of pattern for economic viability which have been discussed during the panel which was shared by Catherine Gestin, and you heard Amandine Rex explaining that 3 data spaces have been launched at the beginning of 2025, and today we shall see 2 of them which were launched on the basis that after 36 months they have to be economically viable. So I'm happy to handle the presentation to Jérémy. So Jérémy, can you please present us Decade X? Jérémy is Procurement Data Governance Improvement Manager at Airbus, and Jérémy has been also very involved in work on semantic within aeronautics. Jérémy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you very much, Hubert. So really happy to be with you today and to be able to present Decade X, which is the digital ecosystem for aerospace and defense. So I'm leading the standardization and certification part of Decade X. I think if we can move to the first slides, yeah, even the next slides after. Yes, thank you. So you may have heard already from Catherine this morning, our industry is in front of a wonderful industrial challenge, I would say. You may know that we are facing now a huge demand in aerospace and defense. If I take my Airbus hat, we all think about this 1,000 aircraft we want to deliver a year. I think you may have heard already about this. We have some estimation that say that in a suitable economic and geopolitical situation, the air traffic might double by 2043. We also have a replacement of old aircraft. We speak about roughly 20,000 of new deliveries linked to replacement of all aircraft, with all the challenges linked also to dismantling and recycling. So, and we also have regulation and environmental challenge that request us to reduce our emission with a clear objective of zero net emission by 2050. All that, we think that no actor in the industry is able to solve it alone, but it is only challenges that we can tackle by collaborating within the industry. And so we need a more resilient supply chain to cope with this issue. We need better traceability, including the sustainability. We also need more efficient co-development. So that's all what DKDX is about. So DKDX is the first trusted and collaborative industry digital ecosystem that has been founded by industrial international member, which aims to build the data sharing framework to enable trustful, secured, and standardized based data exchange for our industry. So it is built by the industry, for the industry, and so we share also some industrial challenge that other sector might share, maybe in a different context, but we have collective concerns that everybody shares, every industry have those collective concerns, so we need better control over the data sharing. We need digital continuity between systems, and we need transparency in the infrastructure and the tools we are using to share data between partners. So what is DKDX is about? DKDX is about changing the paradigm on the way we were addressing usually the supply chain to better data exchange, so moving from a hierarchical perspective to a more ecosystem approach where each and every actor can be at the center of it. The idea is that we build it based on 4 principles. So first is the trust. So trust because we are building a decentralized network which favors data sovereignty. Trust because we govern it via a transparent and shared governance. And trust because we want to base it on a robust trust framework. Spoiler alert, we will speak about GAIX. Interoperability is at the core of what we are building. So here, the notion of standard is very important. We need open standards that can be easily integrated by partner and systems to favor interoperability. Third one is the multi-tier approach. So what we want to build is a decentralized network, but a linked network. We want to solve business pain points in the supply chain by solving use cases, by linking actors along the supply chain. And fourth principle is really the adoption. So I think it was said already by Catherine, we are targeting 10,000 partners connected into the data space. This means that we should have open, accessible, and economically viable way to connect the participant and for participants to participate in the data space. So where are we? So we already confirmed the concept. So the concept was really confirmed by industrial key players of our industry. And we are now moving from concept to reality. So how do we develop it? We started two complementary European projects, Aerospace in Germany and DKDX France in France. And we founded in May this year the DKDX Association, which is an international association, which is there to govern, federate, and sustain the ecosystem in the long term. So that's really important. In parallel, we brought what we call the version 0. The version 0 is the first version of the data space, which is a proof of concept with already 9 partners connected and exchanging data. And here, we tested different modes of connection. We have good feedbacks, and I will explain a bit in the architecture, but we have solutions where participants are self-hosting the components. We have solutions where they are providing data space as a service, and it's really a way to touch how a data space works. And we are now building version 1 and moving towards scalability. So what are we building? So we are building a data space where basically the data is no more centralized to be shared. So we are building a network of participants, a decentralized and federated network of participants with digital continuity in mind. So basically, what you are seeing is different participants collaborating, exchanging data directly peer-to-peer based on a set of federation services that orchestrate the data exchange. And what we want is that we have decentralized components and interoperable business apps to solve our business use case. And this is enabled by having a set of federated services that are built on common standards. This is really important because we think that it's also an opportunity to have multiple operators of those services. And when we look towards the SMEs, which is one of the main key points of our adoption phase, is that we need to be able to deploy this data space to SMEs. And we may need to have local actors, small IT players that are close to the SMEs that are able to connect the SMEs because they are the backbone of our industry. Finally, we want to to have a common trust framework. And this trust framework is the one of GaiaX. But we would like to have this trust framework extended to meet our ecosystem-specific needs. And this is exactly what we are currently building. We are extending the trust framework of GaiaX to define our own ecosystem-specific needs, but link it to the GaiaX trust framework. And I think this is also what you will see today, which is at the heart of the next release of GaiaX in Danube. So really important for us is that the trust framework on which our data space is based should be flexible enough to have extension of ecosystem-specific needs. It should be scalable to support the volume of data exchange and the partner connected in our industry. Should be easy to implement for small players, and it should head towards global adoption, meaning that we are deploying an ecosystem for our global supply chain. We cannot build a system which is only for European players. We need a trust framework that supports global adoption, international adoption. And to achieve this vision of interoperability, digital continuity, we think that we should have in DKDX two main pillars, which are standardization and certification. So first of all, we need standards. And here we are using the same European interoperability framework that was introduced by Ulrich in the previous presentation, where we define standards based on 4 layers: legal, organizational, semantic for the data, and technical standards. We need open standards to ensure that they will be easily integrated by the participants. And at DKDX, we want to select and use either de jure or de facto standards that will fit our needs. And we even might develop some of our own standards that we will also push to the community if they are missing for us. And last pillar is the certification, because we think that it's really important that we certify participants and actors against those standards to guarantee the interoperability, but also to avoid vendor lock-in. So we cannot afford to be tied to one solution on one vendor. We should have multiple. So finally, this is why DKDX, we think that we should foster synergies with all actors working on data spaces. So starting from the top left, you will see the data space SDO, be it GaiaX, IDSA, or other industrial building, either the Eclipse data space working group or Track26 for the automotive. We benchmark things that are being built here. We are early adopters of standards and specification or components that are developed and pushed in open source. And we are currently exploring how to actively contribute to this. By the way, we are really supportive to what GaiaX has starting with the sprint of geographical and domain extension. And we think it's what we need for our ecosystem, and we'll be happy to contribute to it. Then we are also aligning internally in our own industry, aerospace and defense SDO, the effort on standardization. So we are close to ASD Stan in Europe, and we are seeing how the standards that we are building in DKDX can be also formalized for the aerospace and defense. We are building our ecosystem via our projects, so Aerospace-X, DKDX France, and we think we should better collaborate also with other data space initiatives, because we think it's really important that we foster synergy to favor adoption. We will have players that will be part of multiple ecosystem, multiple data space. We should make their lives easy. There should be the same way to connect, the same way to participate. It should be based on the same standards. It should have the same look and feel. And this is why we think it's super important that as Data Space Initiative, we collaborate on the choice of standard, we collaborate on the adoptions, we collaborate to reduce the entry barrier for SMEs, and we collaborate especially on the economic and operating models, but also on the use of AI inside our data space. So finally, to resume, maybe 4 points. So DKDX, we are moving from concept to reality. So first version 0, building version 1, already looking towards scalability. We seek for global adoption, international adoption from day one. So we are bringing players from the US, from the European, from Asia, together inside the ecosystem. We are more and more attractive. So we see a lot of industrial players that are coming to us, that are ready to invest and use the data space. And we are now really working heavily on operational and economical viable model, especially by thinking about how we can build our first operating company. And we are heavily interested to collaborate with other data space initiatives on that. With that said, I give it back to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Absolutely on time. Brilliant.
So, good morning, everybody. So, I'm very pleased to be here today presenting Data for Nuclear X. So, by the way, Data for Nuclear X was yesterday nominated as a Lighthouse project. So, this was a really pleasure. And also, the project was presented 2 weeks ago at a global nuclear event. It has already attracted strong attention in France. And today we aim that this momentum to the European stage with you. We have together 6 outstanding partners, and I want, if you can, to be there and to be up so that we can see you, because I know that a lot of partners are here in the room. So first, EDF, so people from EDF, I see you. If you can go up, so that you can applaud, we can applaud you. Then we have the CEA, I don't know if they are here, so Commissariat à l'énergie atomique, yes, you can applaud you. Then we have DAWEX, yes, can applaud you. Then we have the GIFEN. GIFEN is the Association for Nuclear Industry. I'm not sure they are here. Then we have IMT, so I have seen them. Where are you? There, we can applaud you. And then we have also Soprasteria. Yes, we can applaud you. So together we are building, and I have almost the same words as Airbus. We are building a trusted, innovative data sharing ecosystem for the nuclear industry. We are fully aligned with the GaiaX principles, and it is not just a project. It is a step forward for a more secure, collaborative, and sustainable future for energy in Europe. So I want to explain to you that briefly, but it is important to know why you are working. So first thing that, as you know, in Belém, Brazil, right now, COP30 is driving critical discussions on climate change and how we can act decisively to stay within the Paris Agreement and keep global warming below 2 degrees. At EDF, we are convinced that meeting these ambitious goals means one thing: moving away from fossil fuels and embracing electric future. Transition is not optional, it's essential. It means electrifying mobility with cars, heat pumps, transforming industry. And at the end, we must rethink on everything to power our lives. And that's where EDF plays a unique role, because we produce, as you know, and you see that decarbonized electricity at scale, and we are the world's leading producer of low-carbon electricity, thanks to our nuclear fleet. And this is our strength, but it is also our responsibility. Now go to the French nuclear sector. As you see, it is the cornerstone of Europe carbon neutrality target for 2050, and this leadership will continue through extending the life of existing plants in France and also deploying 6 new EPR plants. So we have a big EPR and nuclear programs. And behind this effort, we have a powerful ecosystem, 2,500 companies, 80 of them are small companies. Together, they manage operation, maintenance, and also all the program rollout, exchanging millions of data points every year. So within 5 years, the number will reach 25 million pieces of data exchanged annually. So you have to remember the figure, 25 million of data exchanged annually. So this means that we need to build the future with carbon-less, secure, and collaborative, and data will be the backbone of that transformation. So now so you see this scheme, and it is almost the same as the Airbus did, but it's not a plane, this is a plant. What we have? We have a lot of maintenance work carried out of EDF existing nuclear power plants. And we have, and I'll give you some examples, we have work completion files. So these files, they are essential for any work performed in a nuclear facility. They involve all suppliers engaged in maintenance. They contain vast amounts of information from multiple documents, and they're exchanged between EDF and its partners. So I will put an analogy to make you understand what we are doing. So imagine building a new house. You have the electrician, the plumber, the mason. They must share plans. They must share schedules. If they don't exchange the right information, you face delays in your house, you face inefficiencies, and you face costly mistakes. Now you multiply that complexity by 1,000, and you add the safety requirements on a nuclear plant. And that's the scale that we are talking about. And so now you think about your house, and you imagine that, in fact, we exchange 1 million of these files every year. So you think about the scale that we are speaking about. So coming to data for nuclear X, this means that it will allow the 2,000 companies in France to exchange data in a reliable, traceable, and standardized way through this hub. This means also coordination between all the levels from tier 1 to tier 7. Again, thinking like building your house. You must share, as I say, the plans and the schedules. But now imagine that instead of building one house, you are building an entire city with thousands of workers, with different standards, with different everything, without a common language, without trusted coordination. You will go to chaos in your city. Now, thinking to that, data for nuclear X is that common language and that control system for the nuclear industry. And now you can build your city with your common language. To explain that also, it is important to understand that it's not a single platform. Really, this will be impossible at scale. Data will never be stored in one place in a centralized platform. Instead, you exchange between each party with your own IT system, and you host your data according to your data sensitivity. And this is really important to understand. It is not a centralized system. Now I'm going to the main operational challenges. The first one is the governance. As I explained to you, you are building more than a system. We are building a collaborative ecosystem. So we have a vision for governance with a two-level governance model. Level 1 is an association of companies, defining specifications and use cases, and we are bringing together the major players on the nuclear industry in this association. Level 2, we will have an orchestrator that will operate the entire system and yet to be appointed. So the first challenge, of course, is for us, is to create this governance and make it work, establish the association. It will be done before the end of the year, define roles and rules, and ensure collaboration. The second challenge is the operating model and ensuring technical and economical performance. As Hubert said, it has to be viable, and we aim to be viable. We need to onboard as many SMEs as possible. We have 6 major companies on the nuclear industry, but 80% of the suppliers are these small and medium companies. So first challenge, we have the orchestrator must be sustainable and profitable. Second challenge, the service must create value for everyone, not just the big players. Onboarding must be simple, fast, affordable. So on the paper, we have a strong business model with incentives for SMEs, but now, as everybody knows here, theory is not enough. Now it's time to make it real. Third challenge, data sovereignty. Data is power, as everybody knows here. But we have some of our data that is highly sensitive, and we need Gaia-X level 3 and Gaia-X level 3 label for this highly sensitive data, and I'm really pleased that it has been announced that Gaia-X has now the service with the level 3 services. We must rely on trusted cloud solutions. We must have strict security rules. We must comply with high regulation, and which must guarantee that each company's data is protected and shared only with authorized parties. And this is really non-negotiable. And fourth challenge, but you are here, you know that by heart, technical complexity. So, of course, it is complex. You have identity management that is really complex because you can imagine thousands of people working simultaneously on the same nuclear plant, something like sometimes 50,000 people at the same time, coming from hundreds of companies, so they must onboard quickly. They must be properly identified. They must exchange data securely. And also, as was said before, interoperability is really vital. And we must work with many companies that operate across sectors, especially the aerospace sectors, because we have lot of industries that are common between, lot of companies that are common between aerospace and nuclear. So one language, one framework, and one trusted system. So you see 4 main challenges, but we are happy to meet them. So in conclusion, we are the start of an ambitious journey. Within less than 2 years, we will have the first use cases that will go live. It is not just a project. It is a transformation with real impact. We have really a bold ambition. We need to create an interconnected sector. We need to share data securely based on common language so that everyone has access, as it is said, with the right information at the right time to make the right decision. And we believe really that we are in the heart of Europe industrial competitiveness. We are proud, really proud, determined, and excited to tackle these challenges thanks to Gaia-X.
Thank you, Martine.